cleared up. You feel me? This is a topic where it's like, I feel like I don't even need to explain this at this point. Like, I feel like everybody should know at this point, like, you have your own, like, perception and your own perspective and your own mind and your own space relative to others. So, like, nobody can actually get exactly in your perspective, but, they can maybe be relative to it. Y'all should know what that means. So, when it comes to, like, mind chatter or any type of thinking to yourself, when it comes to thinking to yourself, period, or when we talk about, intellect, or when you're having to basically, what's it called? When you're having to have basically comprehension, right? To comprehend something is you having to receive it, or you know, let it process in your mind. And what you processing is words in front of you, which the words originally came from its origin. It came from some type of person that wrote it down. Like, had to be some type of interpretation of somebody's mind, whether they were getting told to say it from someone else or they just wrote it themselves, whether it's in document format, whether it's in you know, a far-fetched story format, any of that. So, we gotta understand that, hey, everybody, at the end of the day, even if it preceded you in your times, even if you think that's beyond you, people were well suited where they could just do things off the bat, because that's all that was going on back then. Like, it was all about civilizing and all about coming up with new thoughts and new inventions kind of ways, but that kind of comes from some type of method or some type of science to something, you know so but it's all based on somebody thinking, people sharing thoughts, going through many things or whatever. So remember, thinking is a normal thing. I'm just trying to dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to, like, ease into basically saying thinking is normal. Now, certain degrees, or there's certain levels, or there's certain percentage levels that things can, like, where anything can go. But like, we talking about thinking to ourselves. So obviously you don't want to be having conversations as if you are one-on-one sitting with yourself, talking with yourself, because, like, on some real stuff, that was stuff that was taught to us. Like, oh, you, as if you can use for personification, or use creative, like, abstract magic type of shit, Jewish literature type of things, Shakespeare type of writing, and you can just make it seem like, something is what it ain't. So, like, at some point, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has some type of logic where they know at some point, yeah, you're speaking to yourself, whether you're regurgitating, reading, interpreting, trying to come to a conclusion when you're doing math in your mind. Shit, when you're just trying to give yourself courage for something. Maybe you got to interview. You got to talk to yourself to give yourself hype. Hell, maybe you got to perform. Maybe you got to get ready to tell somebody. It's like all these type of little, minor little experiences anybody can go through in real life. It takes somebody to think to themselves. I had to name respectable, quote unquote, people. People respect people that got, like, documents and, like, some type of certificate, right? So I brought up those type of people to let you know they thought too. Like, it's nothing to them. They ain't gonna tell you that they didn't think. It just comes to when we're talking about speculating, or when we're talking about, like, you know, because if you're speculating, my bad, I'm trying to open this goddamn bottle of water. That shit just distracted me so much. I opened it though. We blued up. Blued up. Scorpio season. And it's motherfucking Yeah, I think we all the way in Scorpio now, but it's also um full moon. So it's like we're going through a full reflection of ourselves as we are transitioning and made our full step into the field of Scorpio times. Scorpio, just like the certain months, 12 months go through. There's always gonna be Scorpio times that go through. You just gotta actually track the degrees and stuff. And it ain't even about degrees, but certain points of the year, we got, you know what I'm saying, we map it out and you can know when we're actually into a time. You can name it on a bigger level, like a broader scale, like, weather. And then on a smaller level, you can break up the weather. I mean, not weather, my bad, seasons. So you can break up the winter season into the actual 3 increments of winter because it takes 3 months for another season to pass. That's why in school it's usually, or it was, or maybe it still is, about 3 months of vacation because that's the whole summer. Consider now, none of those months are actually accurate. That's just to kind of try to categorize and shape up and control when things happen. But the whole time it can never be perfect because you're trying to track what's always a cycle. And everybody, it's cool to do that. Everybody got to prepare and be cautious, do certain things to see things come to this, so you kind of experiment, but then you start knowing what things are gonna come to in a way when you start being in that energy a lot. So it's cool to do it, protect yourself from vulnerable situations, make sure you always on your 1 2, you feel me, almost like a simple thing where your mama won't let you go nowhere that type of shit. So it's like, but look, we all got minds, man. Just as, you know, us as humans, all we do when we're trying to like compare something that ain't quite our species, so it can be a dog, it can be a any any type of animal you see on the internet, or if you see it in person, where it start acting kind of like not as its species, like an animal. It really be acting more as a human type of thing. So it's that type of example. So it must be more evolved. So that lets you know it's like all we do as humans is think for us to even try to compare and give animals or even all the way down to trees and certain, instances of things happening, some type of human like title to it. Oh, this is what happens when you're trying to get out of work earlier, or this is what happens when you're trying to, get out of a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like when you use like videos of inanimate objects and you just give some type of, you know, vibe to it, a certain what is this? You know what I'm saying? What's the world of where does this come from? And I know it might sound off the wall, but this is what people really do. It's all about the creator. You got to know about being a creator before you really know about a lot of shit. Cause we all creators. Everybody know they is. It's just when you don't have certain results, and when you fail, you kind of want other people to kind of like see how at the end of the day that's not possible because it ain't possible for you type of thing. Then that's when things kind of get a little shaky, if you know what I mean, man. So at some point, thinking is normal, and we gotta shape up our minds. Cause if not, if you don't think you think, then that's like you saying you'll just leave whatever reality has, or your real life, whatever it has in store for you in the future. Like you'll just give it up and just pray that Jesus got it. So you'll let Jesus take the wheel. As basically saying, that's basically saying you'll let some type of energy entity, like energy, take your own mind frames, how you think day to day, your daily, rationalities, thoughts, or even just your daydreaming imaginations. Like all of this shit takes you through your day. And that's how you actually go about doing things. Like that's how it might seem like it's light, but it's because we're in a heavier density, and light is just in weight density. So density. We're in water or a spectrum or atmosphere. So, we're in this density, but thoughts are clearly here, just like smoke be here and there. But we can see it in the physical, but there's things that's there, but you can't quite point at it in the physical, but it's there. So let's have some type of equal state equilibrium and just know, okay, let's consider both of these things since we always speculate in reality, aka making metaphors based on how you think, because a metaphor, you really comparing one thing to one thing something else, but it's really, that means they both have the same energy or they can both be using the same instant. So that's what lets you know it's different spectrums to shit. It ain't just about fucking like other shit, because that's how you be able to think better. You'll be able to understand a lot of things that other people come to the conclusion with, and you just kind of look at it like, whoa, like they're really smart. Oh, they must have did this type of school. Oh, no, no, no. Because if they must have did a certain type of school, why the people that's teaching the schools ain't like popular? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, don't blame it on, because they're being humbled. And no, they just ain't getting attention because that shit ain't that important. It's not the end all be all. It's not actual law or something. It's not something. It's just something for you to get told to think that this is basically superior or better than what you would think. I mean, look at people in our lives. Like, that's what people do anyway. So you don't think the force of how this shit even got here in the first place, like how drugs got here randomly? Yeah, same way thoughts and certain shit got here randomly. You don't think dust shit gonna flood in here? Shit. But yeah, man, don't be like, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, let's not over exaggerate, and maybe let's point the finger at why certain people say things like, oh, I don't think too much like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, so you just let your mind run? Like, so, so you don't read stuff and like read it to yourself, recite it to yourself? Like, you can't even go past that. There's a lot of other examples I can get, but you can't even go past that. But it's different times, man. Hey, I'm riding the energies, bro. So anybody try to, it ain't about proving everything right. I'm just saying I'm right. I'm usually always in the righteous. What's more, suitable and more logical and more corresponding to our own states of space of how we all here in the same world in the first place. So we all must have the same type of knowing, just from different subjective positions. That's different perspective, bitch. So it's like, you know, that's a whole fridge on the back of his truck. You know what I'm saying? Hey, website coming soon. You feel me? It's coming. Business like pet sitting and checking in on dogs and taking care of dogs and pets, not just dogs, cats too. Hit me up on that, man. I do personal consultants and personal watch. You know what I'm saying? Dog stuff. Because it's really my own business, but I use platforms first. You feel me? Everybody got to use a platform, right? Natal readings. Um, that's just your zodiac. So that's just the time period you was born. Considering considering your year, your day, and the month. Though, really, that's just to say your time of when how you dictate time, how you how you have your whole aura itself, like how you just sprung here into reality, or what you finally have to take control of things with, like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, you got the certain day, so that got a certain numerology, so that's just a certain conclusion that all the numbers come to. So it has a certain frequency. So that's just a certain idea to what's gonna happen in that day. Not to say anybody can tell the day, but it's just that be wise to know. Okay, it has to be with something in it. So you know what I'm saying. And then the time period, where the sun is at. So where your sun sign. So where So right now you'll be a Scorpio. Just now entering the whole shit of Scorpio. No more Libra shit. Because you know everything's a transition. It's not exactly flipping the light switch off. Know what I'm saying? So when we're going through from another element to another, or from one zodiac to another zodiac, so air to water, or Libra, air to water, Scorpio, then, you know what I'm saying, it's shifting from, being able to be as light as a feather, just, convey things, say things, be leaders, come at people with your own message, and, see people outside of you and try to be relatable, and, direct the convos, or direct what you want to be said, and stuff like that. Going from there to actually sinking down and going into your deep desires, see, like, what you actually are, you know, letting happen, what you yourself is letting happen, and what emotional traumas you need to fix and stuff. So, you know, that's a certain time period. So that all matters. Like, so that means you carry that Jesus, or you carry that view, you carry that energy, that charisma, the foresight, the see, the action. People see this action from you, you see it from others. This is your ego. And it's all about your own passion of what you feel to yourself, with no relatability besides you being able to, deeply connect and deeply associate with the certain aura, the energy of the circumstance, the object, the place, you know what I'm saying, the person you dealing with, whatever. Like, that's the energy of these times. So, you know what I'm saying? All these things matter. So your day, month, you know what I'm saying, the year, all that matter, man. Carry some motherfucking energy. But yeah, man, I'm about to be out this bitch. So always remember that you think to yourself, and don't get too lost into your thoughts, but also don't, like, ignore your thoughts either, because that's what keeps you going. So don't be talking about you letting something take your own thoughts. Last time I checked, nothing can see like you. So that means you just letting your own space get taken, and that means pushed over by some other, who's to say, like, some type of other force, or some type of other spirit in a body being thought and the feeling that is relative to yours. So it had to get absorbed in your aura. So now, y'all both on the same, like, playing field or spaceship trip together. And, you know, you just attract shit like that. And, you bound to just manifest certain situations that happen with that. Now, you have free will to ignore this thought and feeling at some point, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. But I kind of forgot why I brought that up. But, you know, you know what I'm saying, I'm blowed at this bitch. So yeah, man, that's the conclusion of this. At the end of the day, keep it to yourself. Don't go too far on one end, but you got the power though. Now let's use that to gain some type of, you know, internal understanding of how you feel emotionally and how others may feel. So we going in that period, and we in that period actually. So you can feel the vibe beyond what's being seen at the end of the day and shit. So yeah, man, it's to reflect there and hit a reflect.